Oh, we are live. Excellent, excellent. Good evening. This is Andre down here in Tampa, Florida, of Overcoming the Yachts. And yes, I'm still in season right now since I play semi-pro football with my team, with the River City Commandos now from Jacksonville, Florida, out of Jacksonville, Florida. So it was funny because we had our playoff game last week. So I was connecting with these four people that you see in the panel with me as we are going back and forth. Hey, you do whatever it takes, even though you're building the business too, and you might be in season just as I am, because this is something that I've always wanted to do. This is like one of my purposes. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, major definite purpose. I love playing the game of football, and that's American football for those who are watching from overseas. But I've been playing the game since I was in high school, through college, and I've been very fortunate to this, over the years, become a part of this community that we are with. And I'm really stoked to hear from what these guys have to share from last week in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm going to get some of the information out from them. I'm not going to tell you everything, but we're going to just let you just keep you in suspense and just share some of the breakthroughs that we came up from last week. So without any further ado, let's go and take it out to New Mexico.
Hey everybody, my name's Aaron Martinez. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Well, I've lived out here a few years anyway. I'm not originally from here. I grew up in Kansas, but anyway, I'm sort of getting over a cold this week, so sorry if I'm not coming out, very clearly. But yeah, like I went to Nashville last week, and it was amazing. I did it last year too, and there's something different about each event, something unique about all of them, and this one was definitely one to remember, and it was especially very special to me because I finally got to meet, well, three of the rest of the panel on here. I met Andre at the Orlando event, but yeah, like it was nice to finally have a personal interaction with everybody here on this panel, and that's been really cool. Like we were able to go around and just hang out and mastermind and really come up with some neat ideas for what we're going to do in the future to build our business. So that is something that's very, very exciting to me, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to be around everybody and to connect and to be a part of other people's breakthroughs, right? Like, everybody talks about their own breakthroughs, but what's really, really cool is to see somebody else have a breakthrough, like to witness it, and I think that's something that's very, very special about going to these events. So I'm going to turn it over to let's go out to California right now.
Hi, sorry I was muted. Yeah, and events, we're talking about events and breakthroughs and all of that. Well, when we go to events, we have breakthroughs because we get to network with our fellow entrepreneurs, and I have met Andre and Ian at an event, and then I finally got to meet Neil at another event. Actually, the first event that we met each other, Neil, was in Nashville this time last year. And then, of course, Aaron, you were there, but I didn't know you. I didn't run into you, or maybe I saw you, but I didn't know you at the time last April. But this time we connected, and so it was just amazing now to have met all of us who are on this panel at our event. So that to me too is a highlight of the event. So I will go on to Neil, who's out in the UK.
Hey everyone, Neil Ensign here from the UK. It is currently 10 past 11 at night time, but always favourite time of the week. Absolutely love being here with you guys. And yeah, the event for me was just a massive breakthrough, and it was great to, like Aaron and Patricia have said, it was great to actually get around the kind of people you want to be around that's going to propel you forward for the next 90 days and just really get your business going. And like Aaron mentioned, it was nice. It was great to mastermind with people and just gain a bit of perspective from what they're doing, because sometimes you can have something that's right in front of your face and you don't see it until somebody actually says, I'm doing that, and you just like, you see it and you just like, I didn't even think of that. And it was just, it's when you get somebody else's perspective on it, sometimes you just get, just that in itself can give you a breakthrough. But there's so much energy when you're actually at these events, because there's so many people there that are pumped up and ready to, you know, take their business forward, and you can't help but actually be, you know, feel the energy, and that's what, you know, just really gets you pumped up. And when you've got people, you know, wanting to mastermind, and you just literally non-stop 3 days just masterminding and just coming up with ideas, and you're out and about enjoying it and meeting these people. I mean, most of these people, if it wasn't for these events, I would have never met them, because I mean, it was great, you know, we connect on Facebook and stuff, but it's like each of us, apart from me and Ian, you know, we're in separate parts of the country, we're on different time zones, so we're hundreds, even thousands of miles apart, and there would be no chance that we would ever meet. But it's through these events, and it's a bit surreal at first, because you only ever see these people on videos and on Facebook, and when you get to meet them face to face, especially the you know, the people that the leaders of the company, you know, when you see them, you just, it's almost like, oh my God, because, you know, you're so used to seeing them. For me, you know, on the laptop, it's almost like you're watching them on TV all the time, and when you get to see them face to face, it's kind of like, it's quite surreal. So it's absolutely great, and you know, I absolutely love being at events, and that was my fourth. So it's just, you know, I absolutely love it, and there's so many breakthroughs that I've had, which we will go through as we go through this hangout. So yeah, I'm going to send it across to you, Ian.
Yeah, and speaking of leaders, this is like my fifth event as well, and I never really had the chance, or really kind of like been in the right place at the right time to meet up with Dave Wood. And then as soon as I stepped off the plane in Nashville, Dave Wood was like literally there. There was a sign out for like Mars Burden, and I was like, came like right off the plane, like looking for my bags at the baggage claim, and I'm like, that's interesting. And then I was like just looking around a bit, and then next thing there's like probably 20 paces away, like Dave and Mars are just there chatting, you know, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the right place at the right time. Like, I was like, that was my, you know, my main focus was to really surround myself with the people at the top, the people who you know, are really making big things happen in this in this industry, and really changing people's lives. And I was like, I just got to surround myself with this energy. And in fact, I've only just got back like a couple of hours ago in the UK, so my eyes are still a little bit like, because I just got off like I don't even know how long a flight, and then on the flight back, my freaking bag got lost. So like I had to come back to my I had to get the train back here, and then they had to deliver my bag out like afterwards. So like about an hour or so ago, this delivery guy comes out with my bag that was checked in that got lost in one of the airports, and like 3 stops, and it's like you do whatever it takes to get to an event, and it just shows the power when you really have faith in your vision and the reason that why you're here. You follow it, and you just go all in with full faith that no matter what happens, you keep that faith alive. You know, everything happens for a reason, and everything kind of like worked out so well without me having to think about it at all. I was like literally not thinking about anything, and I'm just like so amazed at how many opportunities came from that. And it's just amazing. Just like my whole intention was just like, I'm going to plant as many seeds as I can over this next 10 days while I was in Nashville, and see what arises from that. You know, I guess, you know, you can't really, yeah. So just planting as many seeds as I possibly could, and I think that's something that brought us all to Nashville, and you know, it's going to be really interesting to see what results from that. But yeah. I'm not sure where this is leading next.
Oh no, I gotta ask this question. You guys gotta be honest with me now. Be truthful. Okay, who got lost? Who got lost in the hotel? Come on, tell the truth.
Actually, believe it or not, I didn't get lost. I was quite surprised, because I was there last year. It was like, I know where I'm going now, and it was just, I didn't actually get lost. There was a few wrong turns. I was like, oh no, not quite this way, but I didn't get lost. Last year, I got lost multiple times a day. It was so big. This year I remember it quite well, so I'm okay. I was a lot better this year. At least that's what.
You know what's an even more funnier story? I actually took my tent to camp out the first night. So I went so the event was at the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday of the weekend. I went on the Tuesday night and found this random place to tent, because I actually got invited out to this farm about an hour's drive from Nashville. You know, the week after the event, the Monday after the event. So I was like, I'm going to take my tent, I'm going to go and explore and see what happens. Like, not really knowing the area of Nashville, just kind of like looked at the map and think, oh, this is a nice place to tent. I really shouldn't be telling you any of this right now because it's probably, you know, highly confidential information, but that's what I did. And like, to actually get to the event, I had to kind of figure my way out with a Google Maps app, and ended up really getting into some sticky situations. So like the morning after, I'd camped out for the night in this field of cows somewhere in Nashville randomly. I really can't tell you where it is, but I know it was somewhere not far off the event hotel. I had to get from where I was to where the event hotel was at the Gaylord in Nashville, and it actually meant, you know, I was looking at the map and thinking, oh, this is like, I can get there as the crow flies kind of thing. It's going to be an easy walk to get there. But I never realized until I actually got there and was there in person that I had, you know, there was some, the route that I had originally planned on taking was going through this private hotel with like electronic gates and a fence around, and there was no way of me walking like around it to be able to get to the hotel. And it's kind of like that in life, when roadblocks come up in our lives, what do we do to really, you know, how we react to that, I guess, is everything. And I actually ended up having to like kind of go around the outside and jump over like a 6-foot fence with my bags on my back, and then the next thing, I'm like going down this hill, and there's like, I see a security camera on a pole, and I'm like, oh shit. And so that starts running, and then there's a gate at the end. I have to figure out how to get past that, and I kind of like bypass it, and I'm sneaking around the outside, and the next thing, there's this guy with like the security guy with like in his 4x4 kind of like looking outside the gates, and I'm trying to sneak around the outside, and he kind of sees me. So then I'm on the other side of the road to what he's on, so he kind of has to go all the way around the car park to follow him back up again. And as he's coming around, I have to, you know, kind of cross the road and kind of figure it out, figure the way out. But I mean, it's just a great metaphor in life. How much are we willing to really go after our dreams, our mission in life? What we're really willing to do to overcome the things that appear in our life unexpectedly? How much are we willing to use our ingenuity, our innovativeness,
Innovative.
Yeah. How much are we willing to use that to, you know, get to where we want to be in life and achieve our goals and really move forward and advance towards our vision. Yeah, I somehow ended up at the right place at the right time and made it to the hotel, and then I guess that night after stayed with Neil for a couple of nights, and then was connecting with Aaron, and we're all masterminding over there, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Whilst you're on that subject, you know, speaking about, you know, what you're prepared to do to actually just get to where you want to go. Unfortunately, I didn't really have a great trip when it came to coming home, and it was one of them where I got from Nashville to Chicago, and from Chicago it pretty much went rapidly downhill after that for me. You know, it was literally, I was supposed to board at 6:30. Got to 6:30, and it just went back and back and back. So it took half an hour delay, then it was an hour delay, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5, 3.5. It kept going up and up and up, and eventually they let us board. Well, we boarded, and there were still problems. So we sat there for half an hour, and then eventually they decided that that plane wasn't fit for purpose. So they kicked us off the plane whilst they worked on it, and about another half hour later they decided that plane was just not going to work at all. So they told us that flight was cancelled. We had to find another plane. So we went to another plane, we boarded that one, and then within half an hour, that one also got cancelled because there was also problems with that one. And this was at 12:30 at night. So by the time we got off and got everything sorted, it was 12:55 to 1 in the morning. And they was telling us we needed to be back at 6 o'clock in the morning. So 5 hours to get to the hotel, get some sleep, get up, get sorted, and come back to the airport. It's either that or you just sleep on the airport floor. So I decided to go to the hotel. Quite a nice hotel actually, but got back, we got on the plane at 8 o'clock, and lo and behold, there were still problems. So they basically says, we still need to work on it, we're going to have to keep you posted. So we got kicked off another plane, and about 9:15, they then decided to cancel that flight as well. So then it was basically right. It was like, right, what do I do now then? Because I've been in the airport. Literally, it's been about 14, 15 hours now, and I'm really getting frustrated. I'm tired. I've had about 2 hours sleep, and yeah. So they says the next flight available to you is at 4:30 in the afternoon, and it gets to that time because it's like, if I stopped in the airport, there was one more available, but it would have meant me getting to Manchester at like midnight. And at midnight, there's no trains, which means I'm pretty much stranded in Manchester. So it's like I had to stick around in the airport for another 7 hours to wait for another plane to get to London. And yeah, so eventually I got to London. I think it would have been Wednesday morning. I should have been back home Tuesday morning. And I got to London.
Airline was that, Neil? What airline?
Airlines.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? Me and Neil had the exact same flight, just on different days, and I actually kind of saw you post what had been going on in the group chat, and I was like, I'm not going to look at this. I'm not going to put any of that out into the world at all. I'm like, it's the exact same flight, the same times, the same airline, and everything. I'm just like, no.
Well, I'm hoping your flight has a lot better than mine.
Went to schedule. Yeah.
So you said that was American Airlines?
Yeah, the amount of time I'd stopped awake and the amount of travelling I've done and whatever else, by the time I got home Wednesday, I was absolutely shattered. And yeah. I got home and I think I pretty much went straight to bed.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait, so I went to bed and then I got up and then I woke up only after a few hours, but then I couldn't sleep at night time. So I stopped to wait till really late, and then I got to bed, and then I only had a few hours, and it was just my sleeping pattern's gone out of the way. My jet lag is still pretty much.
I can only imagine, because for me, when I went there, I got home, and I'm only like 2 hours the other way. Well, actually 3 hours. Wait, 2 hours. Because Nashville is 2 hours ahead of me. But I got home and I slept because I can only imagine. Now my plane. What happened with us is a bumpy ride. I knew and I had heard from the news reports that where I live, like today, it's really windy outside. Up in the high desert, it gets windy, or it's you could hear a pin drop when it's no wind at all. But coming back, we're hitting headwinds because the winds go from west, from west to east, and we had all these bumpy rides. People, first time I ever heard on a plane, people screaming, So I took a landing. I took out my cell phone and I took a picture of us landing, and then I uploaded that on Facebook, and you could hear the passengers clapping on that video. As I said, here it goes, we're going to touch down. You hear it touch down, the wheels, and then you hear everybody clapping. So I think everybody had a harrowing story one way or another. But what does that do for us? I mean, Aaron has to let us know what his trip was, but it does for us, like what Ian said. It's determination. You may take a wrong turn. You may have a rough flight. We're all here. All of our hearts are beating on this webinar. We may be dead tired, especially Neil. I can feel for you. I've had to stay in the airport a couple of times too when I was in San Francisco. The fog. We have fog there, and I couldn't fly out, so I had to stay in the airport for a whole day. But we have the Inner Circle we could listen to. We have motivating books that we could listen to. So that could occupy our time if we're not, hallucinating by that time.
The question I was going to ask, should I say, was in all of that, no matter how exhausted I was and no matter how tired and frustrated I was, I knew that is ultimately what I needed to do. I had to no other choice. That is what I had to do. And the question is, when it comes to putting that into your business perspective, so whatever daily tasks you need to do, whatever it is you've got in your way, whatever your frustrations are, how many people would actually be prepared to go through all of that and just still move forward? It's when you do your daily actions in spite of all these frustrations, in spite of these roadblocks, and in spite of everything, you still holding your head high and thinking, I need to do this, that is it. You don't get discouraged, you don't get frustrated. Well, I'm not saying don't get frustrated, we all get frustrated, but you don't let it stop you. And that's the point, you know, no matter how tired you are, no matter what you've got going off in your life, you still need to do the daily actions of what you need to do to build your business. And if you don't do that, then when the 90 days is come, you can't then look back and think, why haven't I done anything? Or sorry, why is my business not move forward? Because the answer's already there. You know, you've got your daily actions. If you are looking to build your business and you want to replicate someone, you need to figure out what it is that they're doing to build their business, and you need to be prepared to do whatever it is that person is doing. No questions asked. You know, if they're doing, you know, Instagram or video, they're one of the biggest things that people don't like doing. You know, if I give you a set of daily actions, 5, 6, 8 daily actions, and video includes it, but you want to replicate the results I'm having, and then you say, I don't want to do videos, it's like, well, you can't really expect to have the same kind of results. And it's amazing how many people, I'll include myself on that, because I know I didn't want to do videos at one point. I wanted to, but I had this thing in my head that I couldn't do them, or I wouldn't be any good at them. I had these, you know, problems I needed to overcome. But the fact is, you know, it's something that you need to overcome if you want to take your business forward. So, you know, it's just one of those things. No matter what comes up in your way, what obstacles you have, you know, like Ian was mentioning in the hotel that he was trying to get past and whatever else, it's just one more roadblock, and you just need to find a way past that.
I gotta add on something too, Neil. Even though I wasn't there, but I was able to listen into something too that we got through email as far as what Will said, and this is for those that might be in the business and they really haven't done anything, but they know, like, when they go to, let's say they go to the job, or maybe they got the business they own, but they kind of like, they don't really have that same type of passion. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I'm talking about William Wood, as far as, like, you know, it's like, have you ever done something that really you don't really have that passion to do it, but you know you should be doing something else? And I know I'm paraphrasing that, but that's really what it comes down to. What you just mentioned. Even though you got all those obstacles that you're going through, if it's something else that you know you should be doing, that's really right there telling you that you should go and get started. As far as, especially if you're in a vehicle such as we are, to just really go and just go and get it underway. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, I'll never forget. I heard this too from an event before the previous company I were a part of 2 years ago, from the owner at the time. He said, "Yeah, if you're in the business that we're in, and you're not really doing anything, but it's always telling you something in the back of your head, that's telling you something." You know, it's kind of common sense to say that, but it's true. You know, and you're still going to try to find a way to, like, okay, you're going to give in to, you know, your real true passion, or you just keep on going to the same old, you know, motions, going through the motions of life, you know.
Yeah, I did. Funnily enough, I did actually speak. I spoke to, I think it was Ian and Aaron about the first one, and the second one I kind of covered in the video that we shot just before we left. And the video that we shot, it was one of them where you know in yourself what you want to do, and you know what you need to do. You can tell me what you want to do, and you can tell me also what you've done. But the fact is, the one person you can't lie to, and I'm not suggesting for 1 second anybody is, but it's amazing how some people will say, I've done this, or yes, I want to do this, and whatever else. But the fact is, the one person you can't lie to, and that is yourself. So if you know that I give you a set of 5 daily actions, and you say to me, you're going to do them, but you know deep down you're not, because, you know, I'm going to come back to video, because that's usually one of the biggest obstacles people have. If you know that you don't want to get in front of a camera, then you are pretty much lying to yourself and saying, I'm going to do this, when you know you're not, because as soon as that time comes for you to shoot that video, you're going to do all that you can to actually not do it, because you don't want to do it in the first place. So what you need to do first is align yourself with your goals. What goals do you want to do? And you need to make sure the goals that you you have are achievable when you've got no conflictions, because that's one of the problems people have. You say you want to do something, but as soon as you figure out what it is you need to do, there's certain parts of it that you don't like doing. You're going to do all that you can to actually not do it in the first place. And that's one major problem that people have when they're conflicted. You need to be clear on what you want to do, you need to be clear on what you need to do, and you need to be happy and be prepared to just do whatever it takes. You know, you can either do it. This is the other point, 'cause I think I was mentioning it to Ian when we was in the room masterminding, and that is, you're either going to do something because you're passionate about it, or you're going to do something. So let's say you've got a job and you don't like doing that, but the fact is, you know that if you don't do it, you're going to get fired. you haven't got any wages coming in, which means you effectively can't live. So you just need to do it. And it's amazing how when people are given the choice of doing it, people will always say no. But if you had to do it because you're getting paid to do it and it was your job to do it, then you would do it and you would find a way of doing it. And all it is basically just making that switch in place and just not of coming away from the fact that you have a choice in doing this. If this is what you want to do, then you need to be prepared to do whatever that takes. And you can't suddenly decide that you're not going to do something. The decisions have already been made. That's what you want to do. This is what you need to do. There's no more questions. It's literally that is what you need to do, and you need to find a way of doing it. So whatever problems you have, whether it's getting in front of videos, or maybe you don't like blogging, or maybe you don't like being on a certain platform, whatever it is, I'm just using examples here, but if there's something that you don't like doing, you've either got to get comfortable with doing it, or you need to realign your focus and finding a different way. But unfortunately, you might not have as good results if you're not prepared to do the very tasks that other people are doing to build their business.
And it reminds me of that quote in the mass influence formula. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's kind of like it's like if we're not really truly aligned with our purpose and why we're here doing, why we're doing what we're doing, then our subconscious mind is just going to take us off on so many tangents, so many distractions, so many excuses.
Exactly.
And that's the real challenge about. And that's why we're all so heavily focused on personal growth and personal development, is to really become clear, all as individuals, and once we're able to do that, the power in unity is amazing, and yeah, I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, so I wanna kind of touch on that as well, and kind of shift gears somewhat here. One of the cool things about this event was we had a hypnotherapist who's actually the brother of the founder of the company. His name is William Wood, brother of David Wood, and he does all this NLP type stuff, neuro-linguistic programming, if you don't know what NLP is. And one of the things he had us do at the very beginning of the event was write out our intention, like sit there and actually go through the exercise of writing out our intention. And so I want to read mine to you guys here, because it's going to be interesting to see what I was thinking at the beginning of the event as opposed to what happened by the end of it. So here was my intention. I am looking to gather material during the course of this Unleash event to take home and create inspirational, compelling content for my marketing efforts. This includes, but is not limited to, pictures, videos, interviews, lessons learned, and strategies and stories from those I come in contact with. I will be open to whatever comes my way through speakers on stage or even brand new people I meet in passing. I intend on leaving this event with the utmost clarity on what to implement and create in the months to come. As always, I intend to deepen relationships with people I meet here, as well as start new ones. And cool thing is every single one of those things happened. So I thought that was pretty neat. I mean, other than coming home and fulfilling that part of it, but as far as everything during the event that I set out to do, it happened, and it was really cool because I got focused, and I think we all did. I think we all got a little more focused than maybe we have at past events because of going through exercises like that. I don't know, maybe you guys want to share like what you guys experienced, but I mean, for me, that was big. Like, that was cool.
Yeah, I can second exactly what you were saying about the interviews anyway, because I remember, I don't remember exactly what day it was, because some of the dates kind of molded into one, especially after coming home. But I know that we left one of the days and we went straight outside, and you literally got your stick and you got your mobile phone out, and me and you shot an interview. And then you ended up interviewing like 2 or 3 more people, and it was like within the space of an hour you had like 3 or 4 interviews underneath your belt, and it was just literally looking around thinking, he's just, you just straight off, you set your intention, you know exactly what it is you need to do, now it's time to take action, and that's what you did. And that's the point of, you know, setting yourself an intention. But you're clear in your intention, and you're clear on what it is you want to achieve, and you're prepared to do the actions in order to achieve that. And that is, like I say, you've been congruent, and lo and behold, you did everything that you set out to do. Now, my intention was basically I wanted to try and get around. I needed to re-engage because I'd actually been absent for a couple of months because I was working a lot on my mindset, because I noticed that was one of my biggest obstacles. So I'd been spending, you know, past couple of months working on my mindset. So my intention was to re-engage, get a clear plan of action, get a clear focus for the next 90 days, and set out daily actions, weekly actions, and monthly actions. And that is literally what I think me and Aaron and even Mark, you know, there was quite a few of us that was in there, and I was literally going to everyone, right, what are you going to do, what are you going to do, and literally just trying to feed off and see if there's anything that they're going to do that I'm thinking I could also do. I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not going to try and do everything. That's one thing you need to understand as well, because one thing I do say consistently now, and that's the key, if I can't be consistent at it, I'm not going to do it. It's as simple as that, because you can't have great results if you're not prepared to be consistent. So as great, you know, as certain platforms are, Snapchat is one of the platforms that, you know, everyone's big on now, because it, you know, it's something that's only just opened up. But this is the thing: when one thing opens up, everyone leaves a specific platform and jumps across to it. And this is where most people fall down, because you can't leave one platform thinking this one's going to work better, because the fact is they both work equally the same when you apply exactly what you're supposed to do. If you're not consistent at it and doing the daily actions and building engagement, regardless of what platform you're doing, you're not going to have the results. So, you know, what you need to do is be consistent in your daily actions. You need to be clear what you want to do, and you need to be prepared to do it every single day. So, you know, for me, mine was to re-engage, set out a clear plan of action, and just move forward.
Dude, keep it going, keep it going.
That's excellent, if I may jump in, because you know, consistency has always been something of a struggle, or keeping that particular routine, especially if we do have outside things that we're still doing. We still have a job that we're working, or we still have maybe a part-time job that we're working, but we really, really have to stay focused for what our intentions are. And a lot of people in the world, as we come across them, we realize that they do not set any intentions. They are intentionless, so to speak. So once again, that changes, you know, having a mindset. Having, for instance, in one of our products that is in our that we sell is the Inner Circle, and to listen to how those people have changed, listen to their stories, listen to how they have changed their lives because of the consistent action that they took. Now they're successful. We have a team leader who just hit $2 million, you know, and was rewarded for that on stage. So setting intentions, clear, focused, outlined intentions are very important. So if you have to be tangible with it, you know, many people create a vision board. Many people create a list, and not only just create it and let it stay there, but you try to plan out where you can actually achieve those things. Say you want to do something with your family, a vacation, or you know, set a certain income financial goal to achieve. You know, you have to set a game plan to really do that. One thing that I really appreciated too at the event, one of the exercises that they gave us, you guys may remember that we had to take out a pad, a paper, and write down how we as internet marketers change people's lives. And I thought that was really neat. Once again, you know, we're changing our lives, but in the process, we are selfish. We just don't do this for ourselves. So the exercise was to imagine a child or someone else's child that had their parents completely transformed because of you. You know, you'll help that child get their parents back. In other words, like, you know, say the child or the child has parents that's working 24/7 just to provide for the family. And we know we have a lot of mompreneurs and dadpreneurs. Say, for instance, Sarita or Desmond. Desmond is a dad. You know, he has 2 little boys. We have Sarita has a little girl and a little boy. So, and my friend Valerie, who I room with, twin 6-year-olds. So even though she brings them to the event, she hasn't had a job because she works her online business. But just think of that. So write down on a piece of paper, this is an assignment for the audience, write down on a piece of paper how you could change somebody's life, that child, and write that child a letter. Because I just had someone who said that they didn't need money. You know, we're promoting this new product that we have, Project Titan, right? And it's a secret. We can't go into details because we signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and we don't even know all the details to it. We know some of it, but we don't know the whole scope of what it is going to encompass for the future even. But just imagine that you can transform that person's life, that child's life, by helping their parents. And we can do that by, once again, I said, writing it down on a piece of paper and making that promise to this child of how you can implement that for helping their parents. So the person that, the post that I mentioned, she said that she didn't need any money. Well, see, most people, their mindset, they think about, oh, I don't need to make money. Unless she's rich, and she hasn't messaged me back because I asked her that question. You have to pay the mortgage. You have to pay bills. You have to put gas in the car. If you don't, maybe she doesn't have a car payment. I don't know. Maybe she was has an inheritance and doesn't need to pay anything, but you still have those ongoing bills, monthly bills. So if that's the case, that's you. You're thinking about yourself. But how can you take that? If you have money, can you take it and help someone else? Well, with our businesses, it's not about making the money. It's what the money can do, what you can do with money, and that's the most important thing. And that's shifting that mindset. So that's what our events are about. You get up there, you see the people's stories, you hear what they're doing, how they could do that. And also we had a charity event. There was a home that they went to. One of our leaders, Tracy Walker, was up there, and she played this video of how they spent a day out there, or half of a day out there, helping a charity event, helping a kids' home and a children's home. So this is something that you could use your time and your effort in doing, volunteering your time. If you have money, okay, that's fine. You don't have to work now. What else can you do with your life to help other people?
That's kind of interesting that you guys are mentioning that, because I'm right now in the middle of reading The Science of Getting Rich by Waldos, and he's really no different from what you just mentioned, Patricia. As far as some people might have a certain feeling like you just said too, but it's kind of like for one, a little bit of limiting beliefs. As he mentioned in the book, you can do no better service than getting rich, and it's no different from what you just said as far as helping other people. It's helping, serving other people. That's the thing too, and I talked to my brother about this about a couple weeks ago, as far as because he's been reading a lot of personal development books as of late too, and it's like the reason why you see entrepreneurs that might be in the millionaires and billionaires categories, because how many jobs are they providing? I mean, it's basically how many people are they helping serve. So it's pretty cool too once we're mentioning too a lot though this evening too, as far as the correct mindset too, and that's really what it comes down to. Number one, to especially coming out of events too, as far as not seeing it just as far as but yourself, but looking at the bigger picture. And that was a perfect example of what you just shared, Patricia, as far as like helping out a kid's parents. As far as like down the road. I mean, you have no idea that you might be helping out somebody who, like, down the road they won't have to worry about financial struggle because of they had the correct mindset. So I'm kind of glad that you mentioned that too, and it comes down to what we just mentioned just a few moments ago too.
It's not to say that you don't have to hand your child things on a silver platter, but as a parent and being a responsible parent, you want to be able to give them the best in life that you can provide. And struggles make the stories, right, that we see on stage all the time. And struggles make the person, unfortunately, in this system of things that people have to go through to come out the other side much stronger than they were before. So I know for me personally, I don't have a sob story in my life, but I still have a story to tell. My mother had nervous breakdowns, but heck, she was my mom. I hardly knew that she was having those, to a point. But the thing is, how do we get out of some limiting beliefs that a lot of people have? Maybe they're drug stories, they become druggies. We had one on stage that, he said that he was addicted, and he overcame that. He almost died doing all of those kind of drug stuff. I've never done drugs, so I don't know what that's like, but whoever he can touch or he touches that has that story, they could see the outcome and the other side of what he went through, and how our particular company helped him to do that. So he has the skills now to be able to help himself stay out of that situation. And like I said, again, helping other people who may be struggling. And I couldn't help a person like that, but he could. So everybody has their individual story to be able to have other people relate to help them out of whatever situation that they may be in.
I think it was interesting what you were saying before as well about the charity, Patricia, and how you were talking to someone who didn't necessarily need any more money, but at the same time, I thought it was amazing to see people, leaders at the event really market T-shirts to go towards funds towards this charity, and just get people like raving and ready to buy to give to this charity so openly, and the things that we can learn from watching them market them shirts and market shirts for like $1,000, the shirt on their back, and seeing people actually pay that money to the charities. It's kind of like the things that we can learn at these events can help us, make more money, to give more money away, and I think that's a pretty powerful takeaway, and just an attitude in life, and that belief of I already have everything that I need. We can always do more, and if, just go back to that saying, if we're not growing, we're dying. And I realized that if we all really focused on doing what we can do in our lives, and really go out and strive to do more and improve ourselves every day, what can we actually do? Think what we can do for charities, for people who are really truly in need of us in the world, and think of the impact that we could have if we all come together and learn to create more abundance in just the lifestyle and the energy that we're all learning to do and create, not only for ourselves but for other people. And I just thought that was amazing, that watching leaders sell shirts for $1,000 and people actually
does anybody know how much was raised? I do, but I didn't know if anybody else knew.
No.
They said 18K. 18K? Wow. 18, yeah. That's how much they said. Between the shirts and I guess the dinner, because I had never given in the charity events because I never had a chance to go or whatever to them all these times I've been to the events, and I ended up paying the $75. So I didn't see the frenzy that went on. I think Lawrence Tam was the last one I was on stage, and he's my mentor upline, and I think he was giving away something. I didn't see the end result of that, but or all the other stuff, because I was, like I said, standing in line with everybody else to get their ticket to go to that dinner. But yeah, 18K. So that is really, really commendable for us, and for people again who just don't understand that mindset about money. They really have to change that, because if they get rich, hey, if you have that mindset, well, money isn't anything, and somebody hands you the money, then give it away. If you don't want it, or you don't think you can use it, or you think you have enough. Like for instance, I'll tell you a quick story. when my husband and I got married, we're older. We're not like teeny boppers. We're not like Ian, who's what, 2 years old. No, just kidding, Ian. But so I had a house. He had a house. And then I had bought some other income property, which I ended up selling or actually went bankrupt. But now we decided not to have that house for rent, and because too much trouble with renters and everything. Well, somebody could say, well, you have too much material things. You've got two houses. What are you going to do with two houses? You can't live in both, right? And we just let it go vacant for 2 years without having anybody in it. We struggled to pay the mortgage, but it was very low, so we just looked, and I was still working and bringing in money. So we said we'll just do it and do what it takes to keep that house. And if we do want to sell it down the line, we can. Well, along came a need. And now we have 3 people that we know that are living there in our house for next to nothing because we're helping them out. Now, what if I didn't have that, right? If someone said that, you don't need that, you guys think you're rich, or blah, 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 blah. If I listened to that naysayer attitude, these other three people that needed a place to stay would not have a place to stay right now. Okay, so just don't listen to what people say in the negative. Focus on what you can do for yourself and for other people in the future.
I completely agree, and I think it was actually David Wood who actually touched upon this subject once, because he was talking about, I don't know if he actually said this exact phrase or he mentioned this, but it's amazing how when you watch the films, it's always the bad guy who's the rich one. I will say, well, to be fair, I was going to do one exception, and that's Iron Man, but then to be fair, they're both equally as rich. But you've always got the bad guy who's the rich one, and the poor guy and the good guy is always the rags to riches story. And it's almost like they're feeding us that kind of mentality that they want to keep us in a position of being poor. But the fact is, the power of the internet teaches you that you don't need to settle for a 9-to-5 job. As soon as you finish your job, you are not getting paid. And the great thing about the internet is that once you've got something up there that has the ability to sell, you could be potentially making money regardless of what time of day it is, regardless of what you're doing, whether you're sleeping, whether you're with friends, and that's the beautiful thing. But the first thing, as we've been mentioning throughout this hangout, it all starts to do with your mindset, because if you've got one of these mindsets who thinks that money is evil, money is the root of all evil, should I say, those people who are rich are evil, or if you've got anything to any negative association to do with making money or being rich, you're never gonna actually go on to fulfill potential of becoming rich. And as Ian mentioned, you can actually take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And the principle applies. It's so true, because you can say you want money in your life, but the fact is, if your actions actually go contradict that, you're not going to make no money, because up here, you think money is evil. So if your mind is being fed that on a daily basis, it's going to do all that it can to take you away from the money, because it thinks that is what you don't want. Even though you're saying in your actual, what you're saying, I want it, but what you're actually feeling is, I don't. You need to be in alignment. You need to be true to what you actually want. So if you don't want to make, fabulous amounts of money, maybe you just want to make a side income. But whatever your situation is, whatever it is you want, you need to be super clear, and then you need to figure out what it is that you're going to do to get that. And then you just need to go out there and just do it, whatever it takes. Like Ian was mentioning about, getting to the event, and then I was mentioning about coming home, and, we've got countless stories where people have just overcome, huge problems. Like the gentleman who was actually talking about, who had the drug problem, who's managed to overcome it thanks to this very company. I believe his name's Hank. I don't remember his first name, but, his story was very inspiring, and it's amazing what people can actually overcome when they set their mind to it. But the first thing it comes to is you making the decision and not going back, because this is something I've seen today. I've been guilty of myself, and it's amazing how you set yourself an intention, and then you go forward, and something will happen. It's called a trigger. So something will happen, and you'll jump back to originally where you started from. And what you need to go through is go through that process, and often enough, it's like a circle. So you say you want to do something, you start moving forward, something happens, and it propels you back to the start again, and you're starting back to square one. What you've got to do, And this is what I've now put into place, and that is start moving forward. And when you start recognizing that something's happening to try and send you back to where you was originally, you've got to recognize it, be aware of it, and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to move forward and start doing what it is I've actually set myself out to do. You've got to be aware of it and notice that it does happen, and just keep moving forward, and just don't take no for an answer, and just be prepared to do whatever it takes. But you need to be first, you need to know what you want, and you need to know exactly what you need to do in order to achieve it. And then you just got to be prepared to do whatever it takes in order to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a big breakthrough that I had from the event was that when Will was up on stage and he was talking about writing down a belief you want to let go of, or just an old way of thinking, and we had to write it down and screw the piece of paper up and throw it away. And I was just thinking that's interesting, and I can relate it back to when I first got started in this business. I'm that mentality where we kind of like think that there's a huge pot of gold somewhere, and that's like all of the money in the world is in this pot, and like that's it kind of thing. But we forget that, or at least we believe differently in the fact that there is an abundant amount of money and energy in this world, and that there can actually be endless amount based on the needs of the people. And I thought it was interesting about writing those beliefs down on that paper and really letting it go. I know Dave does it a lot, and we actually did it when I was out there on the farm this last week. Is we had a campfire and was writing old ways of thinking, things we want to let go, old beliefs that are not serving us, onto paper, and just tossing it into the fire, letting it go, because what's gotten us here is not going to get us to where we necessarily want to be in life. And so I think that's a great way of letting go of old ways of thinking, and it's a great breakthrough for me to be able to do on a consistent basis coming out of the event, because I guess the beliefs that we, the things that we believe, it's kind of like our subconscious minds are kind of like an onion, and we kind of like we're peeling back the layers and peeling back all the years of conditioning and all the years of shit that are built up through the conditioning of, I don't know, I guess society, but and truly being able to let go and create a new belief and a new association with something that's going to serve you, serve your vision, serve where you want to be in life, which is ultimately doing what you want when you want, where you want, with who you want to do it with, and that's what brings us all together, because we're all here to live life on our own terms. So, I mean, is there any other breakthroughs that any other you guys want to share that come directly from the event? Because I think that's what we call this hangout.
My main breakthrough was, I mean, it's kind of an ongoing breakthrough from other events in this whole experience, but it just kind of like solidifies it even more, is just to like learn to let go, and to like, it's fine to let your guard down, because when you keep this wall built up, you might be thinking you're protecting yourself from all these different things that you don't want to deal with, but at the same time you're also restricting yourself from sharing all the value that you have to deliver. So like it's all about being a servant and serving, and if you focus on serving others, I mean the money and all that other stuff will just it'll start to show up, and you just gotta take a leap of faith and trust in that. And I mean, it brought me into this group with all of you here, so yeah.
Yeah, and then I have something to share too. Sarita kind of like touched on that, what you just said, Aaron, because once again, we have to follow the 8 core commitments, be consistent in doing those, and which obviously we find in our back office. So for those of you that don't know, the back office, and it was so funny. Remember when, who was it? Oh God, what's her name? She lives in Hungary, or lives in, what is her name? but anyway, she's an older one, right? She was working on cruise ships. Remember, what is her name? And I took a picture of her, and I know who she is. I can't think right now.
I think her name was Erica.
Erica, yes, and I met her, and I took pictures with her and everything. But anyway, Erica Urdu, she said that. I lost my train of thought now. She. Now I'm brain dead. Trying to think of her name. But anyway, she and Sarita said, you have to let go of things. And she even did it. Sarita did 1, 2, 3, and then just let it go. I even wrote that down for my notes because that's what a lot of us do. We hold on to baggage. And I know Sarita gained her freedom because she was a single mom, and she had to do this. There was no choice for her because she was forced into a certain position, and that is taking care of her 2 kids now because her husband contested whatever and trying to divorce her. And unfortunately, money was part of the problem. He wanted to, he was getting jealous and all this. It's just, one of those long stories, personal things. But she had to let all of the baggage go to be able to move forward in her business. And then another thing that I got I'll think of the thing about Erica in a second. I'm brain dead. But I liked Jamie and Loida, or Jaime and Loida, because when you're prospecting to people, and you have to find someone who is coachable, and you go through a series of steps that you have to ask them. So this is my breakthrough. I just want them to join, and the main thing about one of our products is to be able to identify people and certain personality types that you would want for your business. So if they're not willing to do that, then you're not willing, or you shouldn't be willing to coach them. But see if they're coachable. How much time are they willing to commit to their business? And make them sign something, even, go through a survey, which I know that we've had several times that people could do so that we know their mindset and we can help them that way if they're willing to be helped, how much they want to make and how much they want to earn. And then it says a bonus for them, ask them if they have a credit card. Most people have a credit card. And if they have it, you ask them to go get it. Go get it right there, obviously, if they're at the computer, and have them join. I mean, who doesn't have the $7 on their credit card, or who doesn't have $2 on their credit card? I'm running with a $2 trial period, but our trial is $17 right now. That's all they have to sign up for, right? So if they click that green button below, $17 is all that you have to sign up for to start your business. As we talked about this before, that's the gateway to get in, but there's businesses, brick and mortar businesses, like to start a McDonald's, $500,000 or something like that. Who has that on their credit card? Nobody. So with Jaime and Loida, I'm really going to implement this, really, really screening my clients and asking them these questions so that I don't waste time with them. I want serious-minded people who really want to take their life forward and unleash their inner power, okay? Because that's what the event was all about.
Wait, so read those off again one more time, Patricia, because that was good. I like those little 4 steps. Now, are you coachable? What was the second one? Can you make time?
Yeah, it says, well, are you coachable, right? How much time do you have, and are you willing to commit into your business, right? And let's see here. And obviously, when you ask them those questions, and of course their family, ask them what is their why, because that's what we need to know, if they have a strong why and what it is. And then their bonus, the bonus would be that for us is that we would have them, or ask them if they're sitting at their computer, and if they are, to pull out their credit card. And surely you don't ask them if they have money. You steer them into, you've got your credit card, right? take it out, and sign up. That's it, basically. You don't leave any room for them to say, duh, duh, duh. You know, you have to lead them into signing up.
I like that. I like that. It's kind of funny too because then once they do go click that green link below, then they can get ready for the next webinar tomorrow evening. But I'm just going to leave it at that, though, at 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. But they got to be in first. But I like that.
I wanted to tell you something else. Wait, guys, because again, why are they coming to you and why are they asking you for certain things? Because you are seen as an authority figure to them. So he said, you're not asking them, you're telling them to sign up because that's why they came to you asking you for certain information. So
and then everyone just starts laughing at the credit card, right?
Well, look at David Wood. Look at what he does. Just get out your credit card and sign up, right?
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of a condensed version of something that you'll definitely find out more about by clicking the green button below later on, which is called the Top Producer Formula, where I mean it's awesome stuff. Like I'm sure all of you would agree with that. That just that one training alone is worth anything that you know that you would be asked to pay for it. I mean, I would have paid more than what I did for it for sure.
And also, real quick though, to add on to that, Aaron, since we have been mentioning some results, obviously results not typical CI, obviously income disclosure below too, but results are very possible. So you have to keep that in mind too. So I like that when you share, Patricia. I can see where Napoleon Hill was talking about law of success, talking about mind vibrations as far as the bias going through everything. What are you about to say real quick, Neil?
I was just about to touch on to the income disclosure that you was just talking about, and we was actually talking about this. I think it was Michael Martin who actually spoke about it because when people see the income disclosure, the first thing they see is how much the majority of people make, because that's what they automatically see and think that's how much money I'm going to make. So automatically you're thinking that is how much money you're going to make, which is limiting how much you can potentially make, because the one thing that he did actually say is when people say, yeah, but the average people make less than $100, and he goes, well, yeah, he says, but I'm not average, so it's simple, don't be average. What does the average person do? Usually, in fact, this is an actual statistic that 72% of all people that get involved in a particular product, whether it's an ongoing product or whether it's just a product, say for example you buy from ClickBank or JVZoo, 72% of people don't do nothing with it for the first 3 months. With that statistic, is there any wonder why people are not making money online? Again, it comes back to the daily consistent actions that you need to be doing. It's one of those where you buy a product and then you suddenly feel fulfilled, and it's like, right, I brought the product, and then it's like, all right, I'll do that tomorrow. And what do you know, 3 months later, tomorrow still hasn't come. And it's one of them where you just need to be, again, back to the point, you need to be aligned with why you got started. You need to be aligned how much you want to do, what you want to get out of this, what you need to do to get there. And just once you've got all those questions answered, you're ready to get started. And this is what we can help you with. So if you need help with that, you're struggling with that, click on the link below, get started, reach out to your mentor, the person that you signed up with, whoever's invited you here, and we will go through exactly the steps. We'll ask you the questions that you need to answer, so and you're clear in your mind what you need to do going forward, because we want to help you hit the ground running. And the only way we can do that is just by answering these simple questions. So we are going to need to get on a call with you, or we are going to need to send you a questionnaire, something that you're going to need to answer and send back to us. But once you've done that, we can then tell you, right, this is what you're going to do. From there, because this is something I've recently done with Aaron, he's my accountability partner. So I've set out my intentions of what I'm going to do every single day for the next 90 days. And he is going to be my accountability partner, who's going to literally say, not every single day, but every couple of days, have you done your daily tasks? Yes, I have. how you do your day, and we'll just keep going because it only takes 3 weeks. It only takes 3 weeks for you to implement a new change. If you do something every single day for 3 weeks, you have got a new routine. And once you've got that routine, that is powerful because that is going to get you. That is what's going to get you your success. So that's all I'm going to say is click on the link below, reach out to the person who sent you here, and we will happily get you started. And we just need these questions answering. Once we can do that, we can get you moving forward and start making results in your business.
Like the 21-day blogging challenge that we have also. And also, you think about it, if you were invited to dinner to someone's house and they prepared a meal for you and you said, oh, I don't need this now. And 21 days later, I mean, you could take it home, wrap it up, put it in a doggy bag, and put it in your refrigerator, maybe even freeze it. They have cakes, I know, that you can freeze for a year or two. But then, what value are you getting from it? We need nutrition every day. We have to eat every day. So if we value our businesses like that, we're going to want to take action every day to progress, to get to the growth that we want. Or imagine a baby. You got a baby and the baby doesn't want the bottle. The baby's not going to grow. I mean, it's going to be stunted in growth or starve to death. So we don't want our businesses to do that. We want to be progressive and really show all seriousness in what we're doing, because after all, we're paying good money for this education to, again, help ourselves and help others.
Oh, so true, so true. Anything else, though, before we go ahead and wrap this up?
Yes, well, we have to talk about I invited people on here to talk about this secret products. It encompasses a bunch of things, but we need people to take action on that. And the only way they could do that, once again, is by clicking on the link and getting with whoever invited you here, whether it was Aaron or Neil, Andre. What was that? Myself, or whatever. We are all here to help you. So just click that link below. And like I said, we signed an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, at the event that we cannot disclose it. There is a video that you can watch. Maybe if you click any of us that were there at the link, at the event, we have that because we whipped out our cell phones and we videotaped part of the information that the owner told us that we could do. So we could share that much with you. But as far as everything else, we're sworn by secrecy until tomorrow, because I'm not sure what time tomorrow. I have to go look at my email. I think I saw it already, but I forgot the time that they could jump on, and all of us who are on this panel will probably have a link up tomorrow, or you'll get it in an email so that you could click on that link and join us and see what this secret product is all about.
We'll leave them with suspense. What is
because for right now it's only for us affiliates, so what can I say? I'm sworn to secrecy. That's it.
So that's fine. That's fine. We just look forward to seeing you on the inside, though. So just don't lock arms with us, and we're gonna lock forces together and get out of the way. With that being said, we'll see you guys same time, same place next week.
Take care, guys.
Bye.